Okay, guys. So I guess tonight I'm going to chime in my 2 cents worth about the election, and I know that you may not agree with my opinion about the election. I can't sit there and you know basically sway you. I don't guess if you don't agree with me. Um, However, though. I can tell you this, that if you don't agree with me, then I'm going to kind of wonder why you don't agree with me, because anybody who's basically in the prepping community should be agreeing with me, um, or basically mostly agreeing with me anyway. It doesn't necessarily. Uh, Not everybody in the prep community is on the right. Generally, people that's always been in the prep community has always been sort of on the right, but sometimes there I do have leftist kind of views, kind of leftist type way of thinking. Uh, Canadian Prepper actually is one that's just he's kind of on the right in the physical sense, but on a social sense and a lot of other kind of things. If you listen to him talk, he's kind of on the left. If you get my drift. Another one would be City Prepping. He's an okay guy. The guy at City Prepping, he's an okay guy, but he still has sort of leftist views, and you know I, I I don't know how he's going to vote. I can tell you this: I don't know how he's going to vote. I don't know how Canadian prepper can't vote in the United States uh, election anyway. Uh, I mean, it's just the way it is. He can't. He can't. But to tell you the truth, a lot of people in the community of the prepping communities usually generally on the right. And generally, the reason why they're on the right is because they believe in a fiscal conservative policy of money in a fiscal conservative policy. So let's say Jeremiah Babe, who's basically on the right. He's a Republican on the right, even though his state of California is going to be lost. Trump's going to lose the state of California. He's going to lose. He's going to lose many of the states. Basically on the entire West Coast is pretty much going to Trump. Going to Kamala Harris. Well, you know, I'm trying to get this out in a nice way without coming out being kind of crude. So I'm trying not to be too rough about things. But generally speaking, people in the prep community, as I said before, are on the right. Okay, so you know, when we look at what's going on, when we see the world, when we see what people are saying and what they're doing and the actions that these people have taken and everything else. So let me give a breakdown of I'm gonna just tell you like this, and I'm gonna try to be as nice about it as I can. I'm not really wanting to pound it into ground. I'm just gonna tell you straight up. I'm gonna tell you to vote for Trump, and if that's a problem for you, then click off my video, watch one of my other videos, watch one of my next videos, and we'll still be friends. I mean, I'm still here to be a prepper. My main goal on this channel is to be a prepper. So if I step on you, if I'm stepping on your toes by going to say you vote for Trump, then you basically, I'm not going to tell you to leave my channel. Please don't subscribe. But I am going to say just wait till the next video comes out, and we'll still be friends tomorrow, even though you vote for Kamala today. So I'm going to be as nice as I can about it. However, though, I don't agree with your viewpoints, and I'll tell you that. Uh, Anybody's gun loving community, anybody knows me. I love guns, and you would pretty much be a Trump supporter and somebody that's on the right because you love guns, too. So let me say it like this. I'm just going to give you a breakdown of what's happened in the past 4 years. All right, in the past 4 years, just in the since 2000. Let's see, 2021, when when Biden took office, January the 6th. I don't think we can ever forget the January 6th, what they call the insurrection. But yeah, it's like this. Since all this happened, we've had gas prices go up, electricity bills go up. We had water bills go up. We've had everything increase over 20%. Have you noticed how high your rent is these days? How much it's gone up since 2000 and what is it? 2022, something like no, 2022, something like that. Have you noticed how much the rent's gone up? It's almost doubled. Some of the rent has. Do you know that school lunches have gone up 61 or 2%? Can you imagine that? That's how much school lunches have gone up. And there's been 40,000 40,000 people in North Carolina alone have filed a claim trying to get their kid out of public school. They want to get their kid out of public school. There's been 40,000 people in the state of North Carolina filed to get their kids out of the public school system because they wanted to take them and put them in private school system. So they filed for funding in some kind of way that they can do to get their kid out of the public school system and put them in the private school system. And the state of North Carolina, I don't know if they prove it or don't, but I just know that that's what's happened. And there's also been, I think they said there was 43,000 teachers last year alone in the state of North Carolina left. I was just hearing it on the radio. 43,000 school teachers alone has left the school system in the state of North Carolina. All right. Do you know that the United States is totally screwed? Do you have any idea how bad a shape that we're in the state of North Carolina? Or any time? I mean, but basically here in the state of North Carolina, or anywhere you live, do you have any idea how bad a shape we're in? I mean, think about it. Gas prices went from less than $2 a gallon here in the state of North Carolina up to over $3 a gallon, and now it's come back down below 3, but it went up to over 3 at one point. Do you know buying a home is 7% interest? And do you know how much home values have doubled in the last 4 years? Home values have doubled in the last 4 years. You know, inflation is over 20%. When Trump was in office, it was like 6 something percent. Do you know that? This all happened in the last 4 years. They shut down pipelines. They shut down the coal industry. They started pushing out electric cars, electric vehicles. Do you know how much a car costs right now? And this has just happened in the past 4 years. Do you know how much a car? Well, it happened since COVID, really. You know, I don't know why they thought they could charge that much money. But since COVID, do you know how much cars cost right now? If you go to try to buy a truck, a basic truck, extended cab, and you can't hardly buy one that's just a good old two-wheel drive regular cab anymore, that costs, let's say, $20,000, and it'd be a V6 or a V8. You can't just go buy a good old two-wheel drive truck anymore. You have to buy something that's, if it is two-wheel drive, it's got every kind of button and every kind of thing you can think of, so it's going to cost you $50,000 minimum. That's about the price tag of one of these things. Even the basic work truck of a Dodge is like $47,000, or a basic work truck of a Ram. That's what Stellantis has done to it. Ford now has trucks that cost over $125,000 on their lot. Their little Maverick truck, you've probably seen the little Maverick truck. I really like the little Maverick truck myself, personally. But instead of paying $40,000, generally the price tag on that truck about $40,000, I think I would just rather go buy a dang Honda Ridgeline. Why would I buy a Ford product why would I buy a Ford product like a Maverick? Why would I buy that when I could buy a Honda Ridgeline that's an all-wheel drive system? It's a four-wheel drive system. And on top of that, have you ever seen some of these new Honda Ridgelines? Those things are nice, and you can buy those for about like $46,000. Well, you get a Maverick that's as loaded as that Honda Ridgeline. I would much rather take the Honda Ridgeline, and that Maverick's pretty much going to cost that much money. That's how crazy this has gotten to be. You know, if Harris gets this thing, we can kiss so many things goodbye. I guarantee you they're going to come for guns and stuff like that. There's going to be something happen to guns this time. They're not talking about it lightly. They're talking about it seriously. They will do something about guns this time, and she's the person to get it done. And that guy who's basically being her, vice president guy running, whoever that guy is. I never really listened to him, but he's more liberal than she is. They say. Like I said, I haven't listened to the guy. I don't fool with that stuff. But yeah, they say that he's more liberal than she is, and if he's more liberal than she is, there's going to something happen to guns. I don't know if they'll get AR-15s banned. I don't know if they'll get AK-47s banned, or basically get the old Clinton thing, crime bill thing get done where you can grandfather stuff in. I don't know how they'll work it out, but I bet their grandfather. I bet even if you can grandfather it in, let's say you might not be able to buy magazines for the thing, or if you can buy magazines, it'd be some stupid sloppy 10-round magazines. You won't be able to buy good old 30-round magazines or anything like that anymore, or nothing high capacity of any kind. You got 40-round magazines, you got 20-round magazines, but they'll limit it down to probably 10 or even 8. That's what's going to come. All right. On top of that, when they say that this is the most important election in our history, they literally mean that this is the most important election in our history. Before, I'd hear that this is the most important election in our history, and like last time I even heard this is the most important election in our history, and then a lot of people saying hey, there's never going to be another election. Well, there's an election again, even though the last time people said there was never going to be another election. There's an election again. The question is, will it be a fair election? Who knows how heavy rigged the whole thing is, and who knows how many 10,000 mules they'll have. But this really is a rigged. Who knows how rigged things are? I've already seen a video of things being rigged. Believe it or not, I have. It's maybe. Yeah, I think I'll just go ahead and put that at the end of this video, okay? So be expecting to watch this little short video I got it, and then I sent it to Trump, and then I sent it to Trump and on Truth Social. I don't know if he got it, but I also sent it to Tulsi Gabbard, who generally she's a little more with the public, you know what I'm saying? And she has a lot of pull, and she has a lot of dealings directly with Trump, and in the Republican Party because of who she is. People love Tulsi to death. So basically, I sent it to her too, and it's just because I wanted to get that video out there. And now I'm going to put it on YouTube. But the thing of it is, we are in big trouble in this country if they, this really is the most important election. You always hear that this is the most important election. Last time they were saying this is the most important election because, well, at the time before that they were saying it's the most important election because you can't let that traitor to his country, that chauvinist pig, whatever get in office. And then this last time, this is the most important election we've ever had. We can't, this is the most important election we ever had. And the last time it was the Republicans that were screaming it. We can't let them get in office because if they get in office, we'll never have another fair election, and so on and so forth. We going to do this, we're going to do that, and so on and so forth. But when it comes down to it, they don't do. A lot of Republicans sit around and talk, and sit around with their hands under your butt, and doing absolutely nothing. What is it going to take for somebody to finally stand up and actually do something? Get up and get off your ass and do something. And the thing about it is, somebody even commented one time saying that the real Americans, the real people are gone. You know, the real Americans, the real people, the real men in America are gone. And in so many ways, I kind of think that that's sort of true, because when we look at what the people are doing and what they've done and how they are and everything else, I don't know if anybody, I don't know how many people in America's got the balls to stand up for anything anymore. Not real Americans to stand up to really go and do what needs to be done and take care of business. I don't know how many people, you know, whatever. They always want to sit around and they want to push in for a politician to get to do the job for them. But when we look at what they've done, like let's say, let me give you an example too. In this past 4 years, okay, look at Puerto Rico. All right, when Trump was in office, look at Puerto Rico, and that dang leftist woman down there talking that crap and everything, saying oh, Trump didn't do nothing for Puerto Rico when a hurricane hit it. But that was a big mess. I mean, they had to bring in a ship for, you know, they had to bring in a ship for a hospital care. They had to bring in another ship for electrical reasons. They had to pretty much rebuild the entire infrastructure of Puerto Rico. I mean, the entire infrastructure of Puerto Rico is just literally destroyed. I mean, pretty much. I mean, when we look at what Trump did whenever that happened, and then we also look at what happened whenever the big hurricane hit. Do you remember when that hurricane hit down in Houston, down in Texas, when that hit? And how bad that tore things up, and what Trump do? They were there. The people were there. The people were there. They done something. But now when we look at the state of North Carolina and we look at what this Helene did, where's the government? You know, FEMA, any of these people, are they there? They're not there. All right. So it's been left on us to do it. All right. They keep sending trillions of dollars to another foreign country and do all that stuff for them, but they can't do nothing for their own people here in the United States of America. Just think about that. All right. Think about the past 4 years. You know, gas $2 a gallon. Everything's, you know, inflation 6.5%. Interest rates tremendously lower. Do you know that? Do you know that they actually had some interest rates down to even zero, even down to close to 0%, you know, and some credit cards were down to 13%. Do you know that credit cards now are 25 to 35% interest? Do you know how much money you will pay if you got a $2,500 credit card, and let's say that it's 35% interest? I bet your payment is probably $80 a month, roughly. That's your payment right there. $80 a month is your payment on a minimum payment on a credit card that's got $2,500 balance and 35% interest. That's ridiculous. Look at car payments now. Can you tell me something? Tell me this. If you're trying to buy a car, and you're trying to buy, let's say you're trying to buy a car, and that car is $20,000, well, that's a $400 a month car payment on a $20,000 car. And then at the way the prices of the used cars are now, would it benefit you to go buy a $20,000, roughly $25,000 new car, or go buy a used car and, you know, get jacked up on the interest rates and everything else? Because used cars get, let's say, 18% interest. Well, let's say you get 6-7% interest on a $25,000 new car. Your payment's somewhere around, you know, 500, you know, 400, 500 a month on the new car. Well, the thing about it is, buy a used car, your payment's still $400 to $500 a month on that car. All right, so I was at the Nissan place not too long back, and I just walked in there, and the video ended up being kind of crap, but there was cars there, Nissan Versas, that was $20,000. It's a Versa, it's a Nissan, it's not the best vehicle, but you know, when it comes down to it, if you want something that's cheap, clean, and reliable, it is something that's cheap, clean, and reliable that you can buy and you can drive, and it'll get you back and forth to work, you know. But your payment's still going to be $425, $400 a month, maybe $450, depends on how much money you put down too, and a lot of different factors. How much money you have. Uh, so when we think about that, when we look at that, we look at how much stuff costs and everything else. It's ridiculous. And all this has come about that everybody's about as broke as a. Everybody's about as broke as they were back in the Great Depression times without even being in a depression. Things are just flat out, bad now. And it's all happening within the last 4 years. I mean, just look at it. I mean, yeah, sure, we've kept jobs somehow or another. Somehow or another, the economy's kept on going. I got some kind of allergy going on, but somehow or another, jobs kept going somehow, and things kept going somehow, but it's not going good. Nothing is going good anymore. It's all falling apart, and it's all fell apart within the last 4 years. Now, can I necessarily say that this is all the Democrats' doings? I mean, not really, but can I say that the Democrats have a tremendous amount to do with it? Yeah, I mean, think about it. I was just listening to some guy the other day who said that, you know, the Democrats have had 16, yeah, has had at 16 out of 20 years. Out of 20 years, Democrats have held 16 years of that, and look at where we are today. And they say they're going to change everything. Everything's going to be different. It's going to be better. We're going to be able to fix everything. And they're still telling California this. California's a wasteland shithole now. That's what it is. Well, California is a wasteland shithole. Pardon the French, but that's exactly what it is. It's a wasteland shithole. And the thing of it is, when you look at how bad California's got to be, if you look how bad California's got to be and everything else, that's their dream utopia, a wasteland. I mean, people stealing from you. Do you know that when Trump was in office, they didn't have it so that long as somebody in California or New York could steal $999 worth of stuff, they could legally just walk on out the door with it by just going and just taking $999 worth of stuff. That wasn't happening when Trump was in office, was it? People being able to steal close to $1,000 worth of stuff. That didn't happen when Trump was in office, did it? All right. So basically, like I said, these people, like this person said, these people have had 16 years out of 20. Think about it. 8 years Obama, 4 years Biden. All right, 8 years Obama, 4 years Biden, and let's see, 8 years Obama, 4 years Biden, 4 years Trump. Okay, just think about that. 4 years Trump, 4 years Trump, crap. How'd that work out? Let's see, there's Bush. Let's see, Bush held 2 years. Then we go, but Bush held 2 terms. It's 8. Then we go, it's 8 for Obama, Biden, and then 1 for Trump. 1 for Trump. So basically, they've held 12 years out of the last, let's say 20. 12 years out of the last 20. So they've held 12 years out of the last 20. 12 years out of the last 20. So basically, where are we at now? You know, I mean, Bush was in there. We had a high spending cost of war, but when Bush left, when Obama left office, the national debt at that point was $20 trillion. When he took office, he raised the national debt level up $8 trillion himself. Then Trump come in. We had a nasty pandemic, and everybody was having to sit around and everything. Well, there you go. We got another 10 trillion went out right there. And since they've been in office, this term alone, you think about it, Trump only raised it $10 trillion in his whole term. Since they've been in office right now, they've raised it up, they've raised it up right at about 6 trillion in one term. So if they get left in office, you think about it, that's 6 trillion in one term. How much more money they're going to spend? And think about this too. How many wars are they going to start? Before Trump left office, we were friends with everybody. We were friends with Russia. We were friends with China. Well, not exactly friends with China, but we were friends with Russia. We were friends with. We had no problem. There was no problem with Ukraine. There was no problem with You know, there was no problem with none of this stuff. Do you know that? Do you know that before Trump left office, the Middle East was totally scared to death of the United States and what we would do next? And then look at no sooner Biden gets on office, they pull they pull our troops out. They pull our troops out, leave all that military, leave all that military gear there and everything else. They pull our troops out and everything else, just for them over there to use to take our gear and sit there and use it in any way they please over there in the Middle East right now. They got our military stuff. They're using that stuff, and they've left all that money over there. And what good is all this? You know. So the United States is headed for a disaster. We are in a big crisis. We got war. We're in wars that we can't get out of. We're kind of funding wars that we need to get out of, and really we can't get out of because of all the politics involved in it. The other countries are dragging us into a war, basically. And basically, if we don't quit this crap, we're going to be Putin or us either one's going to push a button. So think about all that. All right, I'm kind of babbling on. I'm sorry about that, but still, let me just end with this, and let me just close it out here. But when it comes Tuesday, if you haven't voted yet, which I'm guessing a lot of you have, vote Trump and vote Republican, because these Democrats are communists. They don't have our interest in mind. They don't. I've already voted, and I'll admit I voted for Trump, and you know, I'm not gonna. I don't even care who knows about it. I voted Trump, and I'll tell you flat out and simple. I voted Trump, and I'm a proud Trump supporter. Do I necessarily think that everything's going to go great? I don't know. But I can tell you this, I got a better chance of everything going great with Trump in office than I do with Biden in office. With Harris, well, Biden, Harris, whoever. I got a lot better chance with Trump being in there than I do with one of them. All right. He'll lower taxes. He'll get everything straightened back out. He'll get the pipelines back open. He'll get the gas prices back down. He'll get the interest back down. We'll get things back straightened out in this country, guys. We need our Trump back in office. Vote Trump, okay? Vote Trump. All right, these elections are just going to be a disaster. They are. I mean, if we do get, the reason why this is the most important election, because if Harris gets in office, well, God rest us all. God save our souls, because the bottom line is, I don't see how we're going to avoid World War III. I mean, with Trump in office, we can avoid World War III. But with Biden in office, with Harris in office, we're done. We're screwed. So vote Trump, guys. Go in there, get your stuff done. Vote Trump, and ask for a paper ballot if you can. Not all states allow you to do that. Not all counties, I know. But ask for a paper ballot. And a paper ballot, they cannot cheat you in any way. Like I said at the very end of this video, I'm gonna put the other video to go with this one, and you be good, get at it, take it easy.